Hey, and welcome everybody to Doc's Taking on the Mormons. You are in Doc's Clinic, and let's start this off. And hello and welcome everybody. As you see here, we are trying something new here, a little bit on the red, white, and blue. And yeah, it looks pretty good. So we're working on some overlays and things of that nature. So came out pretty good. So we are gonna go ahead here and switch things up a little bit. And here we are, and we are today talking about the USAR's Bureau of Motor Vehicles. Let me go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and just share this with you guys so you guys can see this. And there it is. Look at that very busy site they have there. Just so busy. So again, this is their part of the USAR's fictitious government website here. And what's really funny is you look down at that reestablished April 14th, 2015. This government does not exist. Okay, that does not exist. They do not have their Bureau of Motor Vehicles, and we'll see why. This is literally a compilation of some of the stuff that just makes you want to cry. And I have sent packets of information to, the mayor of Chicago, the attorney general of Chicago. I've sent it to Illinois representatives, both Senate and House. I've sent it to the state attorney general, the secretary of state, the FBI field office, and interested to see. I mean, I know those things take time. So it is interesting to see what's going on. Yes, there is their little seal. So justice, salvation, unity, completion. Well, they haven't completed anything because we all know this is false. This whole entire seal is false. Like I talked about in my last video, they always seem to have everything with a P.O. box. Nothing has a physical address. If you are in Chicago or Illinois and you need to go to the Illinois DMV, guess what? There's physical locations in every county. Every city has them. So, again, these emails, I've sent several emails asking questions, have not gotten anything back from them on this. Let's go ahead and we will reduce this zoom because this is part of the problem. Their site is built like crap. So again, here's their vision is to be a trusted leader in delivering innovative services. This vision is supported by its mission to proudly serve the public by licensing drivers, registering vehicles, securing identities, and regulating the motor vehicle industry. So again, they have tried to take something that, again, they have no control over anyways, because if anything, these cars are going to get towed. These driver's license that they issue out are fictitious, so they'll be confiscated and used as evidence against them. And that person will be charged with a fake ID. None of their IDs, none of their registration, none of that is recognized by anybody anywhere. So here we go, their little state republic down there. Let me back this off a little bit more so you can see these. Yeah, the site is so horribly built that it's just ridiculous. So this is their great Secretary of Transportation, the interim directory, Mr. Alexander Lee Robinson L. He's got a rap sheet a mile long as well. There they are wearing the hat of their oppressors from the Ottoman Empire. So that's, again, it shows how much they actually lack in knowledge. And that's the sad part right there is they have no idea what they're talking about at all. And here we go. And what's really interesting is they have their forms. Let's go in and look at their forms. So they say that, again, because their website is so horribly built, this is overlaying their actual hours. And then here we go. There's their constitution, which is nothing more than it's literally a piece of paper. So what's funny is they have all their own stuff in here, and let's go ahead and take a look. This is their Department of Health Office of Vital Statistics. Now, here's what's funny about this. If you take this birth certificate, right, they have this thing as an application for USAR birth record certificate. Here in the United States, you get a birth certificate. You don't get a, you don't have to have an application for it. You fill it out, and it usually takes about 2 weeks. I know that's what it was for when my kids were born. Pretty much the same stuff here. You're going to put on all your information just like you would do a normal United States birth certificate. They have some fees here, and the fees all range by state. But if you compare this to an actual birth certificate record or the application to get your certified true copy, they look just like this. So let's go ahead and we'll exit out of this form. And here's their driver's license application. So let's take a look at this. So again, Department of Driver Services, United States of America, excuse me, Republic. So we all know right off the bat, these are fake. I have called this number here, and all I get is a voicemail recording. Here you go right here. Requirements for a USAR driver's license and identification card. You got to be a USAR national or citizen. So again, right off the bat, they're telling you that you got to claim a fictitious status of being a national, but you're actually not claiming that status. Like I talked before, they basically what happens is they think because they made a change or put in some crappy affidavit or whatever, some false paperwork, that they think they're going to turn around and all of a sudden they're just going to, excuse me, going to have their new whatever. But they're actually still U.S. citizens. They do not follow the State Department's way of clearing or changing your citizenship. And they are not part of, they're not Moroccan citizens either. So again, they're still U.S. citizens. They're going to want to know your legal status. Now, here's what's really funny. I'm gonna show you something which is just weird. I don't know why you would ever want to release your information, especially especially your social security number or your actual driver's license number to a group that you have no idea what they're doing with this. Once you give them this number, that number, and your legal first name and middle and last, they have everything they need now to commit identity theft. That's really all you need. Again, I've looked at some other state applications for driver's licenses. You don't have to fill this out. You can look at, matter of fact, let's do this. Georgia DMV driver's license application. Here we go. So you can apply online. Yeah, I don't know why my browser does that. It says it's unsafe, but it's not. And then here's your driver's license. Here's your basic form right here. And you can do this right online through the Georgia, Department of, let's see here, privately owned website. Okay. So these guys are allowed to do driver's licenses through the state of Georgia. And this way, it's a portal to the DMV. So this makes it very simple here in the state of Georgia. But this is what a application looks like for the state of Georgia. So if you want your driver's license, obviously you got to go in. I don't know why health insurance status or any of this, why they need to know that. That really doesn't pertain to it. I don't know if it gives you the option. You know, they don't put health insurance information on your driver's license number. So, but right here, to apply for a new Georgia driver's license, one document proving your identity, such as a valid U.S. passport or expired less than 10 years, or you can use a driver's license from another state or your birth certificate. You only need one of these. One document to verify your social security number, such as your social security card, a W-2 with your name on it. You do have to take a vision test. So again, what it does is it looks like they probably just copied and pasted from the Chicago or Illinois DMV to come up with their site. So we're going to go ahead and we'll exit out of that and we'll come back to their page. Title, registration, and plates. Now, what is really weird about this, here are your plates. You see how they made that a background image? That is just horrible. I don't know who designs this stuff, but this is horrible. So this is what their plate is right here. United States of America, USAR, and then whatever number with Noble Drew Ali, who is another shyster is what he is. He's a scam artist. So they put him on there and then the number you are, and they think this is going to save you. I've seen several videos now where police are taking these right off the car because, again, it's fictitious. They're not legal plates. Then they start showing you providence and habitancy forms. So, and this is just horrible, whoever designed this thing. So for me, because I live in Georgia, I'm in Providence 5. So let's go to Georgia. So they tell me I got to fill this out. Now, what's funny about this form is I can pull Florida's and it's the exact same wording and everything. And look, the font is changed right here. It's a completely different font. Now look at this. Here it is. This certification is used to support a claim that you are a Providence of Georgia. Look at how big the spacing is. Inhabitant and citizen of the United States of American Republic. Again, huge spacing. You must be a Providence of Florida inhabitant to be eligible for a driver's license. So this form is the same way. I mean, again, huge typo errors. It literally looks like they copy and pasted this, and then they're taking the definition of inhabitant found in the Oxford Dictionary. It's the first time they haven't used black law, so I'm really shocked right there. With that, though, they, again, they're going down through here. You can tell that this isn't even the right font. It looks like they probably copied this. They probably copied this part and pasted it in. And then there's, again, Georgia inhabitability. You don't need that. And then a disclosure statement. You're going to find somebody else and they're going to put their driver's license on there, their driver's license number. Again, you're going to give them your social security number, which is stupid. But this is Georgia, so let's do this. That was Georgia's. So let's go to, again, on Providence 5. Let's go to Louisiana. There it is again. Look. So all they did was change this, but they left that there. How are you going to be a Florida resident if you're trying to get a driver's license in Louisiana? Again, they fixed this stuff down below because I think a lot of this is copy and pasted. So I really believe that this right here, they just said, oh, just change the state. And so somehow it says you got to be in the province of Florida to get a Louisiana driver's license. That makes no sense. So this was Georgia's, same thing. Let's do this. Let's go and look. They put Canal Zone there. So let's pull this up. And this tells you that to get a license in the province of the Canal Zone, you have to be a Texas inhabitant. So again, I'm not quite sure how that works. Let's see, Mississippi. Now, Mississippi looks to be the one of the very few that are actually correct because it says you are a Providence of Mississippi inhabitant, and then there's Mississippi inhabitant again. So this looks like a form that they actually corrected. So no DMV is going to have this many things wrong with it. Okay, they're just not. But these are all those forms that they want you to fill out. Here's your crappy license plate. And then here's your state oath. I guess you got to take that to prove it. And then your registration and your title and your plates. So this is what their registration looks like. And then I guess they have a tax office. Now, what I've known is, again, a lot of these documents look like they have been taken from states to make this. Well, that's what I'm trying to do. You know, I keep providing this information to them that this is paper terrorism. This is all fake. This is confusion at its worst right here. And yeah, what you have to do is not only create the laws, but then you got to enforce them. So on a group like this, you got to do a lot of undercover work too, I would imagine, to infiltrate these places, find out who's leading everything and where they're all located at. And then once that's done, you know, obviously do a sting operation and search and siege all the stuff in these locations from these people, computers, papers, everything else, and go through it and just see exactly what they're doing. I mean, this Christopher C. Bay, well, thank you. He has a rap sheet a mile long, and when you listen to him talk, it's constant. It's just, well, they don't know anything. Only we can do this, and only we can do that. Well, that's not true. And I'm really wondering who brainwashed him, especially at such a young age. So this right here looks to me as if they took this. Okay, so they have lien holder. You know, the motor vehicle is subject to the following first lien. Well, no, it's not. If you have a clean title, you take your registration beforehand. And I know in most states when I've moved, we have to, depending on what the state is we have to get the car retitled in the state we're moving to. So basically what happens is we got to get a hold of the finance company and say, hey, we need to have the car. We need to, to send the current title to this DMV because they're going to retitle it and send it back to you. That's how it works. So it looks like, because again, if you look at the font, if you look at the font, it's wrong. So here we have first lien date, but then this is all bolded. They put their certified lien holder ID number. So now all of a sudden, this number right here is a fictitious number. It doesn't do anything for anybody, but it's in there and it's bolded. So that makes no sense. General instructions for the application and certificate of title. So they think that they're just going to get the title. And what they're saying in here too is, and I'll go ahead and read this. It says, to the Vast Estate Express Trust number 1010595. And again, if you pull this number up, the trust doesn't exist. August 1st, 1928, as a grantor, making the United States of American Republic the trustee and the Moorish American people beneficiaries, the Vast Estate Express Trust guarantee, therefore, reunifying the property back to the aboriginal estate of their people and protection of the fee simple absolute truth. The United States of American Republic now holds legal title as trustee, and the Moorish American people hold equitable title. The registrant shall receive a certificate of title, which shall be evidence of the registrant interest in the said vehicle. Well, yeah, you get your title once it's all paid off, because if the car's not paid off, the finance company owns the title. They still own the car. So you can write this all you want, but that's not going to happen. And nowhere does the government become a trustee or have a vetted interest in our car. So this is, again, another one of those little bait and switch things. Now, again, rights of survivalship, ownership agreement, married persons. I'd have to look. And then it says this form must be completed and submitted to your national tax assessor collector, accompanied by any required application fee, supporting documents. So this, excuse me, I believe may be correct because you have to have a bill of sale. Even if you sell the car for $1, you still have to have a bill of sale. So this part right here, though, now, and we don't have a national tax assessor collector. We have the IRS. So for information about motor vehicle sales, use tax, or emission fees, contact the USAR. Comptroller of Public Accounts, Tax Assessor Section, none of that. And that's not a toll-free number either. 202, no, somebody's getting charged for that. And then telling you that, so none of that is legit. You'll get nothing more than a voicemail message. You call those. So here we go right here. They're saying the sale and use tax must be paid to the National Tax Assessor Collector within 20 Providence working days from the date of purchase or entry of the vehicle into the USAR. A $2.50 fee for transfer of current registration is due in addition to the title application fee and other applicable fees. If not currently registered, registration fees will be due. Well, that's great that you're going to charge these people for those pieces of paper that don't do anything. That's going to get them pulled over. They're going to get tickets. They're going to have fees and fines. They're going to lose those fake plates. And the car is going to get impounded. So it says a 6.2% motor vehicle sales tax or use tax is imposed on the sale price of a motor vehicles for use in the USAR. So you know what's funny here is now they're calling these motor vehicles. Okay, you got to pay attention to that because in all those in this document they put conveyance. So again, which is it? Is it a conveyance or a motor vehicle? So and then a standard presumption value, an SPV, applies to the private party sale of most used motor vehicles purchased or bought into the USAR. The tax is computed on the greater of sales price or 80% of SPV on the day of the title application. So again, here's the thing. You're already in the United States of America, so they're already in, so they don't have to do any of this. This, again, you're trying to get money extort money from these people thinking they're going to get some above privilege. That's acting as a government entity right here. You're not that. You're not that. So, yeah, I have my daughter is watching some weird stuff on YouTube. Then new USAR inhabitants are subject to a $90 use tax on the vehicle brought into a province that was previously registered to the new inhabitant in another state or foreign country. This is in lieu of the 6.25% imposed on a USAR inhabitant. So not only are you doing that, but you're getting the standard presumption value hit on you. You're getting, if you're a new person that just lives there, now you're going to get a $90 use tax on top. And there's a $10 gift tax when a person receives a motor vehicle as a gift from an immediate family member, guardian, or a descendant. Okay, so here you go. You just got hit, and then they're going to tell you to go see Form 14317, Affidavit of Motor Vehicle Gift Transfer. Everything's in an affidavit, which doesn't mean jack. So, when I see this, so let's do this. I'm always wondering. So affidavit is a written statement confirmed by oath or affirmation for use as evidence in court. A former employee swore an affidavit revealing to his claim for unfair dismissal. So again, we have testimony statement, sworn statement, attestation, declaration. So again, it's just another one of those words that means, yeah, hey, that's a sworn statement. So I just wanted to check that. So let's see. Here we go. All right. A transaction in which a motor vehicle is transferred to another person without payment of consideration and one that does not qualify as a gift described above is a sale and will be subject to tax calculated. So again, they're just trying to get money from these people. And again, if you look at this is just crazy. Tells you that Form 14317 should be attached with vehicle registration application and donor agreement. So again, right here, registration of conveyance. Down here, they call it a motor vehicle. So you got to they talk about terms, but none of their terms are right. That in of itself is the problem. So let's go ahead. We'll hop out of here. Let's go back to this. Again, this is their constitution, which means nothing. You get a welcome letter, disability, public safety. Here we go. See how they built this page? Look how excuse me, how far out they have that sitting. So, but here's for disability, driving with a disability. So what they're going to do is they're going to take, probably forge these. I don't even think you can order these. I'm interested. Let's check this out. Placards. Placards. That's what they are. Okay. So it looks like you can order these. A set of 2 is $10. So if they're charging, who knows, for these, and so they just put their little more excuse me, their Moorish red flag on them. They turn these into theirs, because that's all that is. They're gonna put this green little star here, and they're probably gonna take some decals or something to put this in here, because they don't have their own. Problem is when we go to run that number, a cop does, it's not going to show up, because those handicap numbers, when that placard is given out, when a real one is given out, those are registered to that person, and they're only good for so long. Some of them, they actually put end dates on them. So yeah, there's that. There's their fraudulence there with handicap. All right, here's their rules of the road, which is just hilarious. It is so it's down for scheduled maintenance until further notice. I think what happened here is this is where they had this big book of all their rules and laws of the road. And so I think what happened was, because of me or somebody else, I don't know, I'm not going to take credit for it. No one has contacted me and told me they've done anything. But I think now, because that is down, they probably realize somebody's digging pretty hard. So there's that. I mean, the whole thing is fictitious. This guy is a joke. I've seen a couple videos where he's been talking about how, somebody had brought up and say, this stuff looks really similar to the state of Illinois. And he's like, well, it might, because we're the ones that came up with it first. They stole it from us. And, it became that whole us versus them thing. So there's that. There is one thing I do want to show you. I actually thoroughly, lack. Oh, look at that. U.S. Army Reserve. I'm probably going to have to. There it is. That's what I was looking for. So here's this site. So we have this. And again, we have a page that's built too big. So so we can see everything. Now, I don't like saying people are crooks, but this guy is a crook of all crooks. I think it'd be great if him and oh God, what's her name? The Von Wright or Wright Vaughn or whoever, that the one that leads the soft sits, the state nationals, Anna. Those two need to find their way into a nut house or into jail, one of the two. So here's something I want to show you. I told you guys a while ago, there's a video that Vaughn put out. And it's a great video. I've watched this thing so many times. Or no, Truth put this out. This is when I first started talking with Truth, and I was doing, Truth Science 151. I really started to get into this, and I started digging deeper and writing things down and doing research. And I was like, man, they're saying they got a court order. A court order. So let's go into now. Again, look, that page is way too big. Again, so we got to back this thing off to 33%. Now, here's what's funny. This guy right here, another rap sheet a mile long. Okay. Do you notice how here, too, you're always sending that stuff to the same P.O. box? Yep. Now here's the other thing. Now you have Assistant Attorney General Christopher Harper. Now let's go. Now we have Lieutenant. There's Marcus. We have a Deputy Attorney General Chris. It's funny because Christopher C. Cannon Bay, isn't he supposed to be the president of the USAR? Last time I looked. Wait, hang on. This is him right here. But wait a minute. If I go to here, that looks nothing like him. That's Aaron Goldberg L. But yet, they're saying it's Christopher C. Cannon Bay. Well, that doesn't make any sense. How can you have Christopher C. Cannon Bay, who's the president of the USAR, be the Deputy Attorney General? I mean, that's quite a pay cut. Some of these guys have, you can hover over them. And here we go. We have another Assistant Attorney General, Mr. Kenrick Allen. Ontario Geddes L. He's another Assistant Attorney General. And then we have this guy down here, which is a joke. This guy thinks he's the Solicitor General. Not quite sure what he thinks he is, but he definitely nothing that's going to happen. So I want to do something because we're going to go into the courts. Sorry. So they ain't really going to see me, so I'm not too worried about it. All right, here we go. National courts. So most of the time when I think of court, I think of a physical building. Okay? I think of a building that I can go to that actually holds court that has a physical presence. Well, they don't. What they have is this guy right here, Aaron Goldberg. What's funny is, wait a minute. Wait, that's two different people. So not only is Aaron Goldberg a judge, but he's also an attorney general, a deputy attorney general at that. And it's two different people. This is two completely different people. It doesn't grant him stupidity is what it does. So let's go and look at something. So here, I was telling you guys how there was this case. Ooh, this is, oh, nope, I've read this one. This one they lost too. Now here's what's funny. So this guy, the president, Christopher Cannon Bay, is going to turn around. This is that quote warrant that I read to you guys that we did a couple weeks ago, or actually last week. Look at this. He's the plaintiff, but he's also the judge. And then you have Aaron Goldberg and a Christopher Glass Bay. You want to know something funny? Oh, I'm sorry. A Brenda Muhammad Bay. Brenda, yeah. You got to watch these names right here because this name will change. This will turn into that real quick. And then it lists him as the plaintiff, president on behalf of the vast Estate Express Trust. I've looked for that. I have not seen that thing anywhere. I don't know. Here, let's do this because we got everybody here. We might as well back that off. We're gonna go like this, and we're gonna try to break this down. So here's this. So what I'm trying to figure out is how they have any sort of access to this. So they love using this site too. This is one of their favorite sites, and it works half the time because I honestly think they're breaking it. So let's go here. This should take us to the same place. Here we go. So here is this keyword analysis. And then what I'm curious of, Moorish American Republic. So search related to this. And then Moorish land. Well, they don't have any land. Moorish land / our authority. Under the authority declared, recorded, and published by the Form 1099. Okay, first off, Form 1099. Now, I'm not stupid, but I'm dying to see So with a tax form, I mean, there's this one, Form 1099 miscellaneous income. Types of 1099. There's a 1099A, which you might receive one if your mortgage lender cancels some or all of your mortgage. There's a 1099B, covers income from the sale of several types of securities as well as some type of bartering. And a 1099C, if you can persuade a credit card issuer or other lender to settle your debt for less than you owe. Now, that to me, I mean, what are you gonna file that for? I mean, A, B, C. Here's a cap, and this is a share of corporation that was acquired or underwent a big change in capital structure. A div, one of the most common flavors of the form, reports dividends. I don't see them report any dividends. You have a G1, which is if you receive money from the state, local, or federal government, including a tax refund, credit, or offset, you might get one of these. An INT, if you earn more than $10 of interest from a bank, brokerage, or other financial institution. An LTC, if your long-term care insurance paid out benefits during the year. There's your miscellaneous. There's your NEC, to report money they paid to people who did work for them but weren't employees. So a freelancer, self-employed, that type of stuff, you get a 1099. They have an OID, which notes, other financial instruments and discounts to the face value of redemption value at maturity. I mean, none of these forms allow them to do any of what they're trying to do. And so the document, it's a document number. It's not, so they have it thinking it's a trust number. If you looked, they want you to believe that that's a trust number. So we just found out right here. Where'd I go? Right here that this is a document number in the Cook County Book 521, page 579. The Holy Quran, Circle 7, Chapter 47, Constitution and Bylaw of the Moors, something holy another. So what this looks like, what it is they just turned around and filed the Circle 7, Chapter 47. Here's another one, 1928, Vast Estate Express Trust, uploaded by Sherry Mayberry. 96% found this document useful. Torch registration first recorded and sealed in the state of Illinois. So, Scribs has it, but they're a pain in the ass. The Employer Identification Number, EIN, for Moorish Science Temple of America, Inc. is. So this is an EIN. It's not a trust number. It's an employment number. It's what you file your taxes on. Is an EIN. So here we go with more of their fraud. And this is how they pay their taxes. It says the TIN or the federal EIN or simply IRS number, Moorish Science Temple of America, Inc., is incorporated in Florida. And the latest report filing was done in company status, active organization name, Inc., IRS, EIN, taxpayer. So it's a taxpayer number, type foreign profit. And you can take this link right here. Matter of fact, let's see if it lets us do it. So now we're finding out that this is nothing more than an EIN number. It's not a trust. So again, it's a federal tax number, and here it is right here. Moorish Science Temple of America, Inc. in Gainesville, Florida. There's their IRS number, their foreign profit organization. Here's their business address, and here's their mailing address. So again, and it lists some other ones out. Again, they're leading people down the wrong way. So, and then here's this Robinson Bay Marquette. It's the registered agent name. Is a business or individual designated to receive important communications like legal notices and summons. Okay. He's the key management personnel, and he's the chairman. So that's actually a nice little juicy tidbit right there. Department of State Division of Corporation Notice of. And it looks like there it is again. And I don't see it. It looks like a Department of Defense file. Department of State Division of Corporate Notices. Again, nothing. Moorish Registry, more supporting one another. Interested to see what this is. Here we go. Recorder of Deeds, Register of Titles, Cook County, Illinois. So what they're trying to do is these two people. So it goes a little deeper down the rabbit hole. So she goes, in the past few days, the Cook County Recorder of Deeds has received several forms of email correspondence from you regarding concerns that you have involving the organizational documents and other documents relating to the Moorish Science Temple of America. I'm writing you to address these concerns and clarify the role that CCRD has as a custodian of public records. Many of your concerns were raised in the form of numbered questions. All right. In her capacity as the registrar of titles, what is the full scope of the fiduciary duty owed to document #10105905 and the resulting entity, the Moorish Science Temples of America as body politic, named in said document? Response: after reading your question, I assume that you are asking what the recorder's duties and responsibilities are in relation to this and other documents. In this regard, the recorder has two specific duties and responsibilities. First, the recorder is responsible for recording the documents that are entitled to be recorded. Second, the recorder has the responsibility of being the custodian of all recorded documents. That's their job. That's what they do. Okay, pretty simple. Document number 10105905 is an affidavit of organization under the Religious Corporation Act. Okay, that's there in Illinois. Now, what's funny is I've read this act, and I want to let you know that in reading that act, these businesses have to act lawfully, or they lose their this status. And so I'll do some more research on this. This is 805 ILCS 110 ET, and this is the religious, because I want to make sure I read it right, and then I'll do a nice little breakdown of how this company, these people have broken the law. Okay. So let's go ahead and we're gonna go down this a little further. So that's what it is. As custodian for this document and other recorded documents, unless specifically restricted by law, the documents are made available for purchase by the public. See 55 ILCS 5/4-12002. In other words, if a customer requests to purchase a certified or non-certified copy of this document from CCRD will provide such a copy to the customer if they pay the requisite fee. So if we wanted to, we could request that document and pay for it, so we know exactly what it is. The CCRD has no other duties and responsibilities relating to the particular document. In other words, CCRD is simply a custodian of these records and makes this available to public for a fee. This is asked by these two Mopes. What are the procedures for filing documents under the 805 ILCS Religious Corporation Act related to property, mortgages, and notes? Real estate related documents such as property deeds, mortgages, or notes are not recorded under the Religious Corporation Act. For the recording requirements for real estate related documents, please see boom. What are the procedures for including the Moorish Science Temple of America to the list of body politics and file with the Cook County Recorder of Deeds? They do not mean a body of politics, and document the number has already been recorded. Isn't it true that the accordance to the provision made possible for body politics under Home Rule that documentation and laws for the Moorish Science Temple of America as a body politica are applicable to the management of said trust. Again, they're unaware of what specific documents and laws are applicable to the management of any trust maintained by or for the benefit of the MSTA. I would like to note that the Religious Corporation Act states that trustees of religious organizations shall have the care, custody, control of the real and personal property that the organization, and then they of that organization. Then they list out the law again, and then CCRD is not a trustee of any trust or trust assets being held by or for the benefit of the MSTA. So basically, what they're trying to, what the Mopes are trying to say is, hey, aren't you responsible for this? And they're like, and CCRD is like, no, we're not. Has this office done any competent research to determine who are the current executive rulers of the adept chamber of the MSTA, sheiks with power and duties similar to that of a trustee? And then she goes on, the current sheiks of the MSTA are reflected in recorded documents that amend document. If there were any changes to the trustees organization that are not reflected in the document, CCRD would not be aware of them. And then they keep going. They said, is this office aware that only the founder, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, has the authorization to issue document, and such has been the case since 8/1/1929. So here we go. Now this is starting to make sense, what they're trying to do here. So they're trying to say that only this fake prophet, Mr. Drew, they think he's the only one that can issue this document. What I'm going to do is now, because I found this, I'm very curious, is I am going to request this document, a copy of this, and anything that has amended it, it's attached to it, whatever they have on file. That's what I want for this. Response, although I am unclear what you're meaning by issuing the document, put part of the recorder's duty include maintaining recorded documents and providing certified, non-certified copies of the recorded documents for sale. Again, is this office aware that the unauthorized issuance and collections of fund resulting from said issuance constitutes a breach of the registrar's fiduciary duty as custodian in criminal fraud, embezzlement, etc.? Your position is legally and factually incorrect. Please see the relevant statutory authority reference above. So see, here's what they're trying to do. They're trying to say, hey, we get to use all your services, but you can't make money off this. What's happening is they don't want people like myself and others like me to go out there and request this document. Well, guess what? Now I'm going to request it and everything with it. And again, they go on to say, in some of your other correspondence, you indicated that the CCRD has refused to file certain real estate and non-real estate related documents and index them under trust to be clear documents. That is not a trust document. This document is simply an affidavit of organization under the Religious Corporations Act. What this means is that the document serves as a record of the MSTA is organized, incorporated as a religious corporation under the RCA. CCRD is not a trustee of any trust or trust assets maintained by or for the benefit of the MSTA. That responsibility lies with MSTA. If you are having difficulty recording certain documents in our office, please refer to the recording requirements referenced in the legal authority cited above. Finally, you indicated that you would like MSTA to place employees in CCRD for various purposes. State law clearly indicates that you have no authority to demand that you employ members of your congregation in our office. The recorder has the right to control the internal operations of her office. If you have any further questions regarding this letter, please submit them in writing to me and he's the chief legal counsel. So I'm going to be reaching out to Mr. Galifi here, and so I'm glad we found this. This is actually pretty good. So it shows what they're trying to do. Okay, they're trying to say that's a trust number. Here it is. The legal counsel for the records of deeds is like, no, this is not a legal document at all. And so let's go on down here. So we have the Moorish American National Republic.com. Again, form 1099-SS. Now, let's look at this. So that's a 1099-SS. Well, what's funny is there is no SS. It stops at SA, and this is for your health savings account. So I think they're a bit confused. So here we are. Again, they're trying to call this out. Form 1099-SS copy book, 521, page 579, Cook County. Application for Moorish American citizenship. So here we go. What they did was they filed this on file in the Register of Deeds office. This thing right here. Again, this is fictitious form. I'm not telling you where I work. Why would you give them any of this information? This is nothing but junk. So again, you can legally go change your name, but this doesn't grant you anything. Bay and Day were titles given to governors and like commanders in the Ottoman Empire. It doesn't grant you anything. Yeah. So, and again, you're already a national. So here's that piece of junk. Then we got Mr. C. Bay talking about this trust. And you know what? We might have my next meeting in the making, or video in the making, right here. So C. Cannon Bay Trust, don't let them fool you. It's real. Well, no, it's not, because we just have a letter here from a recorder of deeds from the legal counsel saying, no, that is not a I'm going to sign in. I want to make a quick little comment on his neat little video. But there's no proof. There's no evidence, because you have nothing to stand on. There it goes. So again, that trust is fictitious. It's not real. And I'll take his video, break it down. And matter of fact, we'll go ahead. Okay, so here we go. Christopher Bay here. Let's take a little listen. And then after this video, it's about 6 minutes. We'll go ahead and we'll leave off there. So this wraps us up and gets us started. So let's go ahead and we'll. So he's also a teacher now, too. That's what's scary. All right, so the first thing we notice is he's got the hat on of the oppressors, the Ottoman Empire. So he's got that fez on, has no idea what it meant, what it stand for, where it came. But yet, here it is on his head. So here we have the Express Trust fallacy began with Frank Lewis L. Bay. L. Bay versus the MSTA Inc. on March 27, 1997. In its present iteration, it is used as the foundation for the Moorish, quote unquote Moorish, because it's, again, that's a fictitious word, it's a fictitious title, redemption scam, charging individual debt to filing this in Cook County. It is based on the misunderstanding that our vast estate, which they try to say is the United States of America, our country, which is not true, is a land claim of the Americas. The misunderstanding serves as the basis for the rash of Moorish squatters unlawfully taking possession of property via flawed adverse possession. This erroneous doctrine is irresponsible and distinguished, costing the Moorish Science Temple of America thousands of dollars in legal fees. So we already see here that there is no trust. That trust, this express trust, does not exist. And then we have this right here, which is gold for somebody like me who's going to do more research into this, because this is a whole new ball game. To be honest with you, I started talking to you about the DMV they have, and then look, it sprouted into this. So one of the things I want to look up here is this. I'm going to look up this Mr. Frank Lewis Elbay. And then it looks like there was a case that was Elbay versus the MSTA. And this was in on 3/27 of 97. So this was a while ago. Now, again, as you can see through here, the redemption scheme was founded by Roger Elbick, national spokesman for the white supremacy group, I'm guessing, committee of the states, sentenced to 5 years in federal prison. So this Roger Fleck, and see, this is why you have to look at all the angles when you research, because if you don't, you're going to miss one. There's always somebody who is right there, and if you don't get that, then you're going to miss out. So again, if you look at, you got people 4 years ago, 1 year ago, courts have no jurisdiction to decide on religious matters. He obviously doesn't know the law. Courts can, to a degree, based within precedents of the actual law. Now, granted, we have the separation of church and state. What that means is that the government cannot endorse one religion over another. So as long as a church isn't doing, or a court isn't doing that, they can, and they do have jurisdiction. Again, these people are brainwashed. Great work. Again, 2 years ago, here's 3 years ago. What was misleading? He didn't say it wasn't a trust. He spoke on what was being misrepresented as a trust in hand. And then somebody put down here, he didn't load the trust docs. So again, it's just, you see this stuff and it makes your head hurt. It really does. I go through this and it's like, how do you guys believe this? Now, what he's talking about is in the Circle 7 Quran, there is when Drew Ali is talking about what the land was, what west of Maxim was, or east of Maxim. It didn't expand before the Great Earthquake, because what he forgets to tell you is that before that expansion even started, he forgets about the Great Land Bridge. Okay, this landmass we live in, the United States, North America, was formed not only by the Great Earthquake, but it was also formed by volcanoes, constant shifting in the tectonic plates. I mean, you name it, Mother Earth shaped our countries, and she still does it today. However, 20,000 years ago, and now they have actual proof, archaeological proof, that 20,000 years ago, the first wave of out of three, which expanded from 20,000 to 15,000 years ago in history, that people migrated from Asia over to here, through Asia and some from Russia. They migrated over here. Now, when you trace back, and there's now proof of this, that Native Americans here in the United States, they are of Asian descent, of Asian ancestry. And what I mean by that, if you look at their facial structures and you look at those of Asians, especially during that time frame, let's go back to the founding of our country. If you look at a North American, a Native American's face, and you look at that of an Asian, yes, it could have been darker in color because the Native Americans were outside a lot. They lived pretty much outside. Yes, they had wigwams and teepees and stuff, but still, they were outside a lot. Their daily work was outside. So the sun can tan their face. Well, if you look at Asians, depending on where they're from, they can range from very light skin to very dark skin. The facial structures are very much the same too. And so with the proof out there, he's sitting here saying, well, before the Great Earthquake. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, they weren't your people. Okay. They weren't Moors. If it was before the Great Earthquake, it wasn't you. It wasn't these people. I guarantee you can't trace your lineage back. Now, what I like so far, and I'm waiting for him to get to that part, is I heard him say that, look, this vast estate is not something that you're just going to get up and be given to. That's not how this works. That's not what's there. So again, I'm impressed, but I'm not, because I see where he's going with this. However, what he's talking about, again, 20,000 years ago, the first wave of three migrational cycles happened, and they migrated across the Great Land Bridge. So let's continue. So here's my thing. How did Noble Drew Ali come to the point that somehow in his, now if you look up, if you start researching him, a lot of his stuff is just made out of nowhere. It kind of reminds me of Scientology. It's just made up out of nowhere. And so all of a sudden, he's just decided, when he wrote the 7 Circle Quran with another gentleman, I believe like the second in command of this group, he wrote this. He also took part from the Quran. He took part from the Bible when he wrote the 7 Circle Quran. He also took his own thoughts and put them into that book. So it's really hard to say that that's actually a Quran. Because, yes, he took teachings from many different aspects, plus he took experiences from his own life and put it in that book. So what's not to say that what he just said about them inheriting a whole continent was nothing more than he just made up and said, hey, watch me fool these people. I'm going to put in here that, hey, and I'm putting this in simpler terms, you inherited the whole entire continent of North America. That's all yours. Oh, and by the way, you have all of South America. You have all of Africa. That's what's funny, because in the Bible, yes, you hear about migration. And what I mean by that is you see Moses leading the children of Israel through the desert. Okay. That's a migrational cycle. It's the same thing too, when you look at those first of 3 migrational cycles to go from Asia and Russia over here to the United States, or to this country, to North America. But then you have this guy who just wrote it down. It's not like that was given to him and the UN or somebody came and said, hey, oh, by the way, I want to let you know, you guys inherited, this this thing that you're making up trying to teach people, you inherited this. You get this land. Nowhere in there, anywhere. And that's what people seem to forget is he was writing this. He's like, yeah, this sounds good. Let me put this in here. And he wrote that in there. And his buddy was thinking, yeah, let's figure out a way we can get people fooled, bamboozled into this. And that's what took place. These people got bamboozled big time. They have no idea what this guy did. Now, I know we took it from our normal title here where we were going to debunking the USAR DMV. That didn't take very long. But here we got a piece of gold right here. We got this guy saying how it was written in that Circle 7 Quran that they inherited this whole continent. Well, yeah, when you have your so-called prophet writing that book, of course he can put whatever he wants in there, and you are subservient enough to believe what he just said. So let's go on here a little bit more. So here we go now. The gentleman who was talking was not C. Cannon Bay. Now we're here. I believe this right here is C. Cannon Bay. Now he's talking about how this guy was misleading people. Well, wait a minute. It's going to get good because he's going to turn around and he's going to debunk that. So here we go. This is the guy who leads the USAR. Now, mind you, he's going to type this in. It's going to pop up that EIN number. We've already talked about this. This is an EIN number. That's all it is. It's a registration number for tax filing purposes. So let's see where he takes this. Now, what's funny about this is, let me see the year this video was posted. Okay, we go back 4 years. So you're going back probably 2000. Now, remember this right here? He just called her out. Okay? This came from James Gillespie, Chief Legal Counsel. And he just debunked all that. He just told him what this number is. It's your EIN number. It's your tax-paying ID number, okay? So we have this letter, which this is gold here. I can't wait to use this when I go to request this document. Now we got C. Cannon Bay here telling us, watch, let me show you something. Now, here's the thing, though. That trust number, okay, this number right here that he's talking about, because I'm looking at, I even got my glasses on. It's super small, so I'm gonna let me see if I can full screen this. Here we go. This, okay. So here's this trust number he's talking about right here that he typed in. This is all we see, 9355 S King Drive. Now, he says Allie Drew, and here's a grantor count. Here's a grantee count. So what I'm curious to know, because look, this gets way out of hand. Now you have an Ash Bay Keeson, you have an E Bro Stacy Allen, and they're all filing under this trust. So here's what gets me, because I have no problem. He just went to the Cook County Recorder of Deeds. Here we go. Now it tells you right here. Okay, that's an ad. We don't want that. We want this. Cook County, Illinois. Recorder of Deeds. Cook County Recordings. So we're gonna go here. So let's go ahead and search recordings. And let's go to the search site. This is their new site here. Property identification number, PIN. Okay. So what I'm curious about here, hang on. Let me go to my letter because I've got this. Let's go ahead and let's pull this number because I'm curious. So we got 10105905. Okay. So we'll come back over here. And if I go 10105905. Now that may not be right, but let's see what it does. Okay, so that's not a pin. So let's go to search criteria. So I'm curious here. There's that. Here's a grantor search, a document number search. So let's check this out. So here we go. 10105905. Right? That's the document number. Okay. So that didn't work. Trust number search. Let's see if we can get in these things. 10105905. All right. So here we go. I'm curious. We have all these people that have somehow become part of this. So let's look at this guy. C Trust. All right. So here's the doc number, a non-complaint, the recorded date. Now you're seeing here's the PIN, the grantor. So let's look at the doc number here. Let's see if we can look at this here. I'm going to select this. And what I want to do is I would like to view it. I want to see if it'll let me view it. It may not. It very well. Okay, so here we go. Here's the number. So it looks like they just took, here's the grantor, and they just added him. So my question is, what is this getting you? What? And here's the property number. So type release, first grantor, Northcom, first grantee, Butchum. I mean, this, we could spend all day here. Here's a mortgage. Here's a warranty deed. Here's a deed. Here's a list pendings. So let's take a look at this. Let's see what this shows us here. Okay. So this was for a mortgage, and it was in subdivision. So it's a mortgage for $20,000. Here's a deed. Taurus August and the Judicial Sales Corp. I mean, again, the Judicial Sales Corp. So what I would need to do, what I would have to do is actually get. We're going to do something. Here's the details, but I'm going to view an image. I wonder if the image has more information than just what I'm seeing here. All right, I'm just going to do this. I'm going to stop that. There we go. Okay, so I want to view an image. Okay. Did it pop up an image for me to look at? So I'm going to do this. I'm going to tell it to open it in a new tab so I can actually look at this image. But it's blocked because I bet I have. Hang on. Let me wonder if my pop-up blocker is on. Okay, so we want to turn that off. And we want to, for right now, we just want to turn it off so I can see these images because it got blocked. So let's view an image now. Here we go. So here's an official copy of what this is. This, and I've seen these before, okay? These are fictitious documents that these people file. And just because they're filed here does not mean they're legit documents. You know, I've gone through this before with people where, you know, this whole thing right here, the grantor, the Judicial Sales Company of Illinois, by the provision and order appointing selling officer and a judgment entered by the Circuit Court of Cook County, Illinois on March 11, 2009 in the case entitled Archer Bank versus August Torres et al., and pursuant to which the penalties hereafter described were sold at public sale. So what happened was these were sold at a public auction. The west 9 feet of Lot 6 and all of Lot 7 and Block 4 in Wesley subdivision of Lot 6 and 7 and the west 88 feet of Lot 8 in Superior Court partition of the east. So they sold this tiny little piece is what they know right here, commonly known as property index number. Grantor has caused its name to be signed. And then you have a chief executive officer, the Judicial Sales Corporation. Again, these are things that I'm probably going to have to print out to read to get a better function and better understanding in this. But it looks like the grantor's name and address and mail tax bills to Archer Bank, and there's the address, contact name and address. And then mail to Martin and Kearns Limited. So I'm trying to see. I almost wonder to an extent if they're finding these documents online and just filing them under quote unquote this trust, because nowhere in here does it say anything about, you know, you don't see the normal Moorish markings on this, which leads me to believe that this is nothing more than it's fictitious. It's not going to get them what they think they're going to get, because here are doc numbers. These doc numbers don't even match. And then what I'm looking for is the trust number. So, you know, if we go, So let's go to the site again. I want to see what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to this trust number search again. And this is an education for all of us. So, okay. So here we have Allie Drew, Allie Noble Drew TR. I mean, there literally is 2 pages. I mean, here's Hamilton L. Marcus Christopher. Okay, here's the Moorish Science Temple of America. Sheet Dorothy Drew L. Whatever. There's Water L's Anthony Charles. So I'm getting his name. He probably spelled his name backwards. So here's what I want to do. Let's look at this. So hold on one second, my audience. So here we go. This will be interesting. So the type is a non-complainant, and the recording date was 3/16/15. The doc is a 157. There's no pins, but the grantor is them and of itself. So here we go, right here. So we have it clicked. So let's view an image of this because I'm really interested to see what this is. Because, okay, so we have notice a proclamation of nationality amendment solution bill of conveyance. Okay, so far, this looks nothing like a trust. It looks like what they did was they just submitted it under that number. Proclamation of Nationality, which again is fake. We're gonna finish this up here. I mean, because this is hard to read, so I almost need to down, kind of print it out and go from there. But to make amendment to dissentment or document, and then they list it out here. Torrance registration. So again, it's not a trust like they're trying to. Here's a bill of compensation and fee sample. Again, they put somebody that doesn't exist on there. You know what? I'm curious. Okay, so to be able to print this, you do have to pay. So we'll just go back to search. We'll go back to this document. So what I'm going to have to do is I am very curious about this now. And what I'm tempted to do is just request everything from Cook County and see if they'll send me everything. Because this stuff, I mean, look at this. I mean, what? You're putting a book in a page. I mean, what was the date of this? Appointed. And then, I mean, again, it's just, it doesn't make any sense is what it doesn't. But in all of this, we know this exists here. We know this is here. So I'm going to be doing some research the next couple days. And I think what I'm going to do, what gets me is we're going to go back to this video and finish listening to this before we end the video. Here's the second game. Listen carefully. You're each going to make a card, but you're going to come to me and I'm going to whisper you a name. It's secret. And then at the end, you have to guess who made the card for you. Now, I will say this. They have no birthright to this land at all. That, again, is, written in that book. I am going to find a copy of this Circle 7 Quran and I'm going to thumb through it and find where he's talking about how they have birthrights to this country. They don't. None of them do. Again, this was a small little secular group that started, and this guy was so good as a con artist and a scammer. He got them to believe that, oh, hey, this belongs to you. This is all you. You just have to claim your nationality and say you're a Moor. Well, again, that's false as well. Now, my question in this is, why didn't he go into a document and show where it says a trust? Because, again, I found in one of their documents, it called this 1010-5905, called it a document number, not a trust number. Now, I'm going to ask, my question will be back to the Recorder of Deeds is, why is this labeled as a trust? What is the defining characteristics that label as this trust? What is a trust? And I'm going to try to get some questions answered and defined because, again, any holes we can punch through his argument is a good day. Okay, so we're going to end this right here. He needs to say a lot more. Again, this was back 4 years ago, it looks like, from everything that I'm seeing. The first posts are 4 years ago. Right here. So what I'm going to do, though, is I like subscribing to their channels because I start finding a bunch of stuff, which is always fun to look at. I am going to print out the letter. I'm going to do some research on that. I want to reach back out to him and say, okay, I have some questions. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to stop sharing. I do appreciate everybody hanging out with me. Let me know what you think of this new format here. It is, like I said, it is something new, and there are many different ways for us to do this. But I think as time goes on, we'll get this stuff hashed out. Excuse me, and it will look better and better. So again, I appreciate everybody for showing up tonight. Thanks a lot. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit that bell so you get the notifications when a new video comes out. Thanks a lot for tuning in. This is Doc taking on the Mormish. You've been in the Doc's Clinic, and guess what? It's time to close up shop. Doc is out of here. Have a good one.